that is the call of the white-browed scrub robin, but it's sort of, I'm not sure if it's an alarm call or if it's a, I'm not sure what it is, but they normally do it when, just as the sun has set, and they make that churr sound. There are a few of them doing it now.
If you go back on it, he's moved.
Okay, he's moved. Yeah, but filming birds is not easy, especially when they're the size of your hand. But his normal call is that very lilting. Lovely sort of midday, hot, relaxing, soporific sound. On our left-hand side here. A bit easier to film than a white-browed scrub robin. Well done, Brent. This tree is in a state of bother, and that's because an elephant has come and dug his tusk in here, pulled off a strip and ripped it up and almost stripped an entire side of the tree. And unfortunately this isn't a very fresh one, but if we break stuff off, here we go. You can taste this. You can see, can you see the sort of fresh cambium layer there, Brent? Okay. Now that fresh cambium layer is what the elephants are going for. And while it's not delicious by any stretch, you can definitely taste. You can taste the nutrients in it. It's like a sort of, trying to decide what it tastes like. A bit salty, lots of tannin. All these trees use tannin to protect themselves from browsers. There's a real taste of almost vitamins. I won't have it for breakfast. I think I'll have something else. But you can definitely taste why an elephant would eat that. Proving elusive today, except the trees and the grass. Thank goodness for them. And jersey, and he is dressed in his shirt sleeves. The answer is not far enough for the latitude to make a difference to the temperature we're experiencing. But we are, remember Scott's been sitting in one place for much of the morning, and we've been driving around. And so if we were sitting still, yes, it would certainly be comfortable enough to wear maybe a long sleeve shirt without a jersey. I mean, it's not freezing by any stretch. I'm wearing short pants. I do have exceptionally hairy legs, which sort of provides leg warming. But we're not far away. Scott is obviously extremely tough and manly, whereas I tend to be a bit afraid of the cold. A question from Frikkie in Roodepoort, which is a spot just outside Johannesburg. He'd like to know about the herd sizes of antelope that we get in this area. Frikkie, you've mentioned seeing herds of antelope of up to 300 strong in the Kruger Park. There are certainly areas of the Kruger, especially in the south, or on the Gabbro Plains, where in the summer months they will attract sort of larger concentrations of animals. The vegetation here is different, so we're in sort of woodland areas, and we will get herds of buffalo. There was a herd of buffalo of about 200 strong yesterday, and we also get fairly large herds of impala. But it is a woodland habitat, which means that the herds will be slightly more fragmented than they might in parts of the Kruger where you've perhaps visited. In the way of birds to show you at the moment. Boston has asked a question that might to a more sensitive soul be perceived as slightly offensive. Thankfully I've lived with Brent for a while, so I have a very thick skin. He would like to know, what do animals do if they have broken bones, horns and teeth, like my broken nose? Well, first of all, Kevin, my nose is not broken, if you would like a view of it. There we go. I'm not sure why it's that shape. It's probably some form of genetic defect. It's a Greek nose, although I'm not Greek. Secondly, and more importantly, animals out here deal with broken bones. They can survive just about anything. So if an animal breaks a rib or something like that, it might be able to survive. It depends on whether they have enough to eat and whether they can avoid predators at the time. If they snap, say, a femur, then they're going to die. There's no way for them to survive that. But a broken horn tends not to be any form of desperate. Some hyena tracks here. A broken horn is not a desperate injury, and animals will often survive. So we often see one-horned impala or one-horned buffalo, and they get on just fine. And like I say, I've seen a monkey that's had it's had a leg severed, its hand broken, so totally useless, hanging useless, and it survives fine with just 2 limbs. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for an antelope. It might be the case for a wild dog, because a wild dog's obviously got a pack, and the wild dogs will look after their sick and injured. But something like a lion, for example, that gets injured will be left behind by the pride and will die if it breaks a leg.
The 3-legged hyena.
And there we go, and Brent's just told me about a 3-legged hyena that he knows of that survives fine. Just like I survive with my broken nose. Thank you, Kevin, for pointing that out to everybody. Send a picture of yourself, and I'll have a hard judge. I'll have a hard judge at your profile. We're going to have to look for more trees in the absence of mammals. This is a Combretum apiculatum tree, or red bush willow, and you can see, Brent, if you just have a look at the base of the tree, you can see there that when this tree was birthed from the African soil, it was never meant to grow at the angle at which it's growing now. And as with so many trees out here, an elephant has had a go at it, pushed it over, and it started growing at an odd angle. But you can see I'm sitting now amongst a whole lot of branches that are growing horizontally or vertically towards the sky. And what happens is trees like this branch that I'm sitting on will slowly lose its importance to the tree, because the main branch or the main trunk, if it isn't attacked again by elephants, will start to develop from all of these branches that are now growing up towards the sky. So it doesn't matter, there's so many trees out here, it doesn't matter really which angle you push them or place them, they will eventually stick a shoot out that grows towards the light. An amazing adaptation that I think has probably evolved purely so that they can deal with the elephants in this area. It wasn't much of a tree climbing expedition, that, but nice to get close and personal with the vegetation. Come to drink there, perhaps a beefalo or two, perhaps 35 lions, 400 wild dogs, perhaps just the odd bird. Plenty of hyena activity on the Bush newspaper from last night. and have a look at this one. This might give us a better indication. For those of you who've just joined us, we found one of these a little while back. It's looked to be a growth of some sort on the tree. This seems to have been definitely bored into by an insect or two. So it's quite possible that it's created by an insect that has stung the tree and infected it with something, and it's created this growth of the ball. I'm quite tempted to break it open and see what's there, but we'll probably disturb what's in it. And maybe I'll just take a little piece off the top. That's what I'll do. Thank you. It looks like it's pretty uninhabited, these top pieces here. No, it's all vegetation in here. There are no larvae of animals. So it would seem to me that the holes here have come from wood borers that have come probably maybe subsequent to the gall developing. There, you can see in there, it's quite green. It's like the normal flesh of the tree. See that there? So often, like on a terminalia tree or a silver cluster leaf, you find galls from a gall moth. But if you open them up, you'll find the larva of the moth. But here there are no larvae or caterpillars. Thank you, Brent. Not only is Brent a great cameraman, he's a walking toolbox. About the almost impossible tree quiz. I just haven't found an almost impossible tree yet. Question. Is this a part of Africa where prehistoric discoveries have been made? Absolutely. It doesn't seem to be a hotbed for dinosaur fossils, but certainly this part of Africa contains many ancient human remains and remains of our ancestors pre the Stone Age. And away from this particular area in South Africa, we have many sites of sort of dinosaur activity, and we have many sites of very ancient human activity or hominid activity, the most famous of which is the Sterkfontein Caves, which are just outside Johannesburg, and they're a whole limestone complex of limestone caves, where the most famous discovery was that of, I think it was Raymond Dart who found it, of an Australopithecine called Australopithecus africanus, which means southern ape man. And Australopithecus was dubbed Lucy. They called her Lucy, and she's a sort of sub-adult hominid that gave her, I hate to use the term missing link, but was certainly one of the links between us and our ancient ancestors that diverged from the chimpanzee. And there's certainly many others around the country, in Taung and various other places. And then in a cave, and I think it's Blobos in the Cape, there we have some of the first, if not the first, evidence of anatomically modern human beings. So that's us. And that's probably from about 200, I think it's 180 to 200,000 years ago, where modern man as we know it, or know him or her, walked out of a cave down there in the Cape. So South Africa is a hotbed mostly of human origins. We're going to cross across to Scott, who seems to have found some water at a waterhole, which is not unsurprising. So we're going to cross to Scott, and we'll see you a bit later.
Welcome back, everyone, and what a beautiful scene it is here at Treehouse Dam. We've been watching this massive bank of clouds approaching from the east, and it was the same bank of clouds that we saw at the start of the drive, but it's moved very far and has now started to cover us completely. There's no more sun and the temperature's dropped a bit, so after taking off our jackets a little while back, Andrew's put his back on. I'm still braving the slightly chilly weather, but it has had quite a big impact on the temperature, this massive bank of clouds, and it's a rare sighting and a welcome sighting in winter, because we typically have cloudless blue skies during our winter, which make for stunning sunny days, and these clouds, I guess, therefore are quite rare, and I'm enjoying having them around. It makes for beautiful scenery, and it also keeps things nice and cool, so the likelihood of animals being active during the hotter parts of the day is increased. There's not much sign of life here at Treehouse Dam at the moment. There's one blacksmith lapwing that you may have heard just let out a call, dip, dip, and they're called blacksmith lapwings because they make a sound similar to that of a blacksmith working on an anvil. And there's also some fish that are occasionally rising up to the surface in the dam, but they're not going to be easy to see, so we're going to continue and see what else we can find. I am sad that I missed the operation that James has just been performing on a tree, dissecting it to show you a little bit more closely as to what exactly was going on there. Sounds very interesting, and I hope you enjoyed that. He does have a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure all of you are enjoying having him on our team. And just a reminder, there is another interviewee coming. He'll be arriving today, and we'll be able to
Wendy's at Treehouse Dam.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back with us, you're back with us. Scott's satellite was hit by a Martian spacecraft, and so you're back with us. We're on some elephant tracks. They're almost as old as some of the fossils I was describing to you just now, and so we probably won't find them. But we are still lurking about in the area where we saw those male leopard tracks earlier, hoping to bump into something exciting. Well, not bump into them, obviously, or see them. Elephant dung on the road. Ooh, quite nice. It's a tortoise. It's alive. Brent says it's alive.
Drive up to the side of the road.
Okay. I'm going to try and get into a position where we can film it and have a conversation about it at the same time. Brent, if that tortoise is alive, I will eat my hat.
Just checking if you're awake.
This tortoise... this tortoise... In the words of John Cleese in the parrot sketch, is no more. This tortoise is X. This tortoise is not... Ooh. I don't know. We'll probably get in trouble for showing the viewers this, but I don't know if you can see in there.
Hang on a second, I just need to change the settings.
Just change a setting and have a look. This tortoise is certainly not that long dead. So what's interesting, I'll do. Oh no, you've got a... Brent has just purchased himself a torch that will probably be used as a... used to be used as a searchlight for enemy bombers. You see in there?
Hold the shell down towards me a bit more. Just... Sort of, yeah.
Sort of, okay. So you can see the tortoise's innards are sort of liquefied in there. It's really pretty unpleasant smelling. In fact, I probably won't eat for the next week. But that was a leopard tortoise, and I'm really not sure what killed it. It's been eaten out from the inside, so something's got in there, but nothing's broken its shell. So it's possible it was bitten by something. It's possible it was. Maybe its head was grabbed by a bird or something like that, and then the bird ate the rest of it out. But it's difficult to say what killed it. Certainly the shell is entirely intact, so I suspect what happened was that the head was taken, and then the rest has been eaten out by carrion eaters, flies and maggots and delightful things like that that you want to hear about just before you have your meal. Right, I'll be washing my hands before we get home, or when we get home. But unlike first thought, that tortoise is well past his sell-by date. Ceased to exist. That the Martian spacecraft that took out Scott's satellite has in fact absconded with the satellite, so Scott won't be back with you this morning for the remaining 6 minutes. You will have to look at my broken nose. Thank you for that, Kevin. Also, tomorrow morning we have a new fellow trying out as WildEarth expands, so we need to expand understand the number of presenters and guides that we have, and his name is Chris. So I would ask that you all go easy on him. Kevin, don't make any comments about his nose if you don't mind. Otherwise he may never come back. He'll be on tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. I think with just in the morning. Sorry, Brent is eyeing me with big goggle eyes. So just the morning, and I think the other person out will be me at the time. So we'll be out together. Please welcome him with your normal friendliness, and let's see how he gets on. See how the front has now come completely over the top of us, and while it's not cold, it means it won't heat up like it normally does on the normally cloudless, low-felt winter days. For the almost impossibly tree quiz. Nothing's very almost impossible around here though. Especially for you lot, who seem to be able to identify trees on sight. It's very impressive. Thank you for your comment. I shan't repeat it on live, but I forgive you now for your nose comment completely. Thank you very much. Leopard tracks, which is quite unusual. They're definitely hunting, perhaps. Why we don't take night drives? Well, we do to a certain extent, but there are a few good reasons. Firstly, it's difficult from a technical point of view. It's not that easy to film at night. The and lighting and that sort of.
Where?
Straight on the road. Well, there's something in the road. It may not be a baboon, but it looks like, yeah, it is a baboon.
Welcome back, and you couldn't have come at a better time. Look what we found. This is a very rare sighting. And so far it's only this one that I can see. I don't know what he's rubbing in his hands there. It could have been opening up a seed pod, it almost looked like. and he's certainly found something to nibble on. I think he's chewing on the seed of a marula fruit, trying to get into the nut inside. Anyway, there's not much longer of the show. Yeah, I think he's digging out old marula seeds from the road. Awesome. And we don't get to see baboons very often, but hopefully we'll get to see him again this afternoon. He's very close to our camp, and what a good way to end another wonderful morning out here on Juma and Arathusa. I hope you've all enjoyed the safari, and we've certainly enjoyed having you with us. Thanks so much for all of the questions that you've been sending through, and we look forward to this afternoon's adventure with all of you. So please tune in, and a big thank you to Eugene, who directed this morning's show in Final Control, and to Andrew on camera. We'll see you all a bit later on.